Any parent who's stopped to consider the different expenses related to having a child probably knows what it's like to have their vision clouded with dollar signs. Raising children can be expensive. If you plan to help them save for college and early adulthood, it can be even more costly. But there are different tools that you can use to make the cost more manageable. In this UTMA versus 529 review, two of the most popular investing tools face off to help you decide which one might be right for your family. This is Andy Hill from Marriage, Kids, and Money, a channel dedicated to helping you strengthen your family tree and live financially free. If you like what you hear today, please consider giving us the YouTube triple thanks. That's hitting the like button, subscribe to the channel, and then commenting down below. I appreciate you considering it. Thanks. Anytime you're trying to reach a lofty long-distance goal, remember the power of compounding. When you earn interest, you earn a percentage of money on the money you initially contribute. That's often called the principal. Additionally, by leaving your money in your account, your interest starts to earn money as well. This compound interest is what makes investing such an effective tool when it comes to meeting future goals. Let's say you have $5,000 to set aside. You plan to save this money in a savings account with a 0.5% interest rate for 15 years. Then you plan to contribute an additional $100 per month. At the end of those 15 years, you have $24,032.27. Imagine that you decide to invest the money rather than putting it in a savings account. There is definitely more risk, but there's also a lot more reward. Take the exact same scenario as above, but substitute an average interest rate of 6%. In the same amount of time, you could have $39,913.95. But which investment vehicle is right for you when it comes to your kids' future? It's time to explore two popular options: UTMA custodial accounts and 529 college savings plans. Let's start with UTMA. What is a UTMA? Well, UTMA stands for Uniform Transfer to Minors Act. While the acronym technically represents the act itself, most people use UTMAs to refer to a custodial account for kids. The first thing you want to understand is what a custodial account is. Think of it as a financial account with training wheels. The account is set up in your child's name. However, you or another adult are in charge of it until they reach a certain age. It's a way for adults to help children manage their money. Then, once they hit adulthood, the training wheels come off and away they go. Opening a custodial account is like any other account, really. We have our kids' accounts through Vanguard because I was used to the interface and managing all my accounts there. But if you're new to investing for your kids in a brokerage account, I'd check out UNest. So how does a UTMA account stand out from any other custodial account? Well, a minor can use a UTMA custodial account to receive gifts. While money is certainly the most common gift, the account can also hold patents, real estate, royalties, and even fine art. Minors don't take possession of the account until they are legal age, which is usually 18 or 21. UTMA accounts can also pose a certain tax advantage as well. The child is technically the owner of the account. That means that the way the earnings are taxed, it's different. Generally, account earnings in a UTMA are taxed at the child's tax rate, which tends to be much lower than your tax rate. A big concern that families often have is what to do with college savings if their child doesn't go to college. One of the biggest UTMA benefits is that the money can be used for anything. So yes, your child could pay for college with their UTMA account. She could also use it for a down payment, to invest in their own business, or to take some time off to travel or volunteer. There are no stipulations on how the money is used. Additionally, many families really enjoy how the UTMA allows them to guide their child through the financial decision-making process and ultimately pass along ownership to the child when they become an adult. One of the biggest benefits of the UTMA account is flexibility. However, that flexibility can also be a major disadvantage. If you create a UTMA with the intention of your child using the funds to pay for college, there's actually nothing that dictates how they spend the money. So she could use the account to cover the cost of college or anything else. When you set up a UTMA account, you need to make sure that you are comfortable turning over the funds, knowing that they can be used for whatever your child wants. Another consideration about UTMAs is how they are viewed in terms of financial aid. You may have heard of the free application for federal student aid, also called FAFSA. In short, it's an application that allows families to apply for different types of federal aid. A UTMA account is weighted at 20% when your child submits the FAFSA form. That means that students are expected to be able to use 20% of their account balance each year at school. This doesn't have to be a deal breaker, but it is worth noting that another college savings option, the 529 College Savings Plan, counts for much less on FAFSA. One additional consideration in the UTMA versus 529 debate is the fact that the beneficiary of a UTMA cannot be changed. That means that once you open the account in your child's name, you can't undo the contributions made to the plan, and you can't change the beneficiary either. Let's transition to what is a 529. Well, a 529 is another popular savings tool. It's specifically designed for educational purposes. When 529 college savings plans were created, their purpose was to cover the costs of post-secondary education at accredited colleges, universities, and trade schools. Examples of expenses included are tuition and fees, supplies and equipment, room and board, computers and other technology. However, thanks to two recent pieces of legislation, the funds in a 529 can also cover some qualifying K-12 expenses and apprenticeships. It's worth noting that these plans do need to be used for qualifying education expenses, or they're subject to both 10% penalty and federal income taxes. Let's talk about some of the benefits. When money is set aside in a 529 plan, it is earmarked for educational purposes. That means that you don't have to worry about your child coming of age and using the funds for anything other than educational purposes. Additionally, if the money is used for educational purposes, there are no taxes on the earnings. This is a sweet tax advantage that can sometimes be stacked with other tax deductions depending on the plan you choose and where you live. When it comes to qualifying for federal aid using FAFSA, most 529 plans are weighted a lot less heavily than the UTMA. A UTMA is weighted at 20%, whereas a 529 is weighted at just shy of 6%. Let's talk about some of the drawbacks of 529s. People often caution against 529 plans because they worry they become too inflexible for an uncertain future. Fortunately, 529s are flexible. They're simply just suffering a PR problem. If your child does not go to college, the funds in their 529 could be subject to a penalty, but not always. If the reason why the money is not needed is due to a scholarship, the amount of the scholarship can be withdrawn tax and penalty free. Additionally, a 529 plan can be rolled into another 529 plan. You could also change the beneficiary. All of these strategies allow you to avoid the 10% penalty that comes with using the money for non-qualifying purposes. When it comes to UTMA versus 529, it doesn't matter which account you pick if you don't pay attention to fees. As is true with any type of investing, fees related to UTMA accounts and 529 plans can eat away at your financial progress. That's why it's so important to do your research before you start investing. Looking at the expense ratios, it might seem overwhelming, but taking the time to pay attention to the various fees that might incur can save you a lot of headache and heartache and money in the future. Yes, it's true, my friends. Kids can be expensive. Using the right financial tools can help you move mountains when it comes to your financial goals. Spend some time exploring various UTMA and 529 options. Consider the benefits and drawbacks of each type of account. Also, you should know that it's possible to open both accounts for your child as well. That's what we do as a family. If you're looking to start a 529 college savings account, a great place to start is with your state plan. For example, in my great state of Michigan, we not only receive the benefits I mentioned previously, but we also receive a state tax deduction on our contributions, and our state plan has very low plan fees. To find your state's plan, check out this great resource from the College Investor. It's an interactive map of all 50 states and their plans. And if you're ready to get started with a UTMA, check out UNest as one possible option for a brighter financial future. I'll put all those links for those resources in the description. But enough from me, everyone. I want to hear from you. How does a UTMA versus a 529 stack up for you and your family? Which account have you picked? Please let us know in the comments below. This is Andy Hill from Marriage, Kids, and Money signing off. Carpe diem.